to Licks and Tricks. I'm your host, Ethan Mackowick. This is a new Steel City Death Club production that I'm putting on and hosting. So thank you very much for joining us. This is where I sit down with local Pittsburgh musicians, guitarists in particular, to just learn different tricks, different licks, different fun stuff to do on guitar. This is a guitar show. Today, I have Noah Sommers, my first guest.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going, Noah?
I'm doing great.
Doing great?
Yeah.
It's so good to have you. I love Noah. He's a great player.
Aw.
Got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, I know. So the first thing I want to talk about is we started off with a little jam. And you're telling me before that you have like a little way you make riffs.
Yeah, so that riff, it originally started out a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I like to do with the riffs is if I play them, I try to speed them up and keep speeding them up and find a place where it sounds a lot better than it was slow.
Yeah,
so it used to be like... So it used to be like a lot slower, more doomy. Then I sped it up a little bit more, and then it got its way into a party song.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Before it was a slow, sludgy stoner thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do people. That's how you make party songs.
Slow and sludgy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you do that with a lot of your riffs, or is that just like one particular one
if
worked out
they're
that way?
slower, I'll try them out faster,
Mm-hmm.
just to see if like maybe it'll sound a little better if it is faster. A lot of the times I like to write fast stuff, and then I try to write slow stuff.
Yeah.
And every time the slow stuff always sounds better faster.
Does it ever happen the opposite way, where the faster stuff sounds better slower?
If you slow it down in the song, yes.
Like a breakdown or
Yes,
something?
Yes,
Okay.
I do that a lot, yes.
That's actually something I want to talk about. I'm not a metal guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell kind of by the guitar I'm not a metal guy. And we should say real quick that we're in drop A sharp.
Yes, very low.
You want to show us like the notes that
sure.
go along with drop A sharp?
So you got a low A sharp, then you got a F, another A sharp, D sharp, G, then C. So it's like C standard, but in drop. Mm-hmm.
I should disclose, this is not the first time we've shot this episode. We actually lost some footage, which is a pain.
It's not footage, it's audio.
We lost audio, as JJ said. It's audio. It's okay.
Jeff's
Everyone's
fault.
okay. But it was actually a question I didn't get to ask the first time that I want to talk about. Is actually breakdowns. Because
Yes.
breakdowns are a thing that's like a metal thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if like other bands don't really use that term, but it's almost like you almost don't have a metal song if you don't have a breakdown in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So what's like the idea behind it?
Every song doesn't necessarily have to have a breakdown in it, because we have a few songs that don't just get like super slow and have like a breakdown, but it could be a breakdown in a sense where it's like a different change, but you could tell it's like, a harder hitting part of a song. Like we have a song on our upcoming EP called Silver Rot, and the breakdown in it doesn't get slower, but it goes into an odd time part where it switches between 2 bars of 7/8 and then a bar of 6/8.
Dirty.
So it's like a different feel, but it's still
yeah.
like a breakdown of the song.
Oh,
because like all the vocals cut out, it's
Yeah.
just guitar and a lead part.
So
you know
is
what
it
I mean?
the anatomy of a breakdown? Because I always thought it had to be slower. Does it not have to be
It
slower?
doesn't have to be. It just has to be like, the song's like breaking down.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a different part of the song. It's not like a verse or like a bridge.
Probably
It's just like...
It's just like its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
And breakdowns can be fast, too.
That can be fast.
Yeah, we have in the song that we jammed on before called Ring Around the Rosary, there's a breakdown in it.
Do you want to show us?
That it's right after it's like a bass and drum lead off, and
Yeah.
it goes into like this fast 2-steppy part here. Sounds like this.
So it's kind of like turning the rest of the song on its head. Because before it's like a chug kind of thing, but that's
Yeah.
like there's no like constant chug drone.
Yeah, it's like a very all over the place kind of, like it just changes up the feel of it.
Yeah.
That's how I view breakdowns, at least.
Okay.
So I never really go into it trying to write a breakdown, just whatever feels right, and then if it turns into a breakdown, then it's pretty
cool. Something we should go back to is like that first song we're just talking about, the first song we played. When and you were just ripping a solo, what's kind of like some of the licks that you like to do during solos, or like in that particular one, some of your favorites that you do?
whenever I learned how to like do solos, probably like most guitar players, I learned like the blues scale and pentatonic and stuff, and I just kind of stuck with that.
Yeah.
Even though it's been overplayed a lot, I think it's
a hard rut to get out of.
It's
for
very
most guitarists.
and it works everywhere.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Like you could put it anywhere, but I like doing stuff like then like that's like a lick in the song like goes like to the major.
That's like almost that Jerry Garcia lick. Wait, let's break that down because I love that kind of lick.
So it's like so yeah, like goes up, then it goes back down, then it walks back up.
So it's like you're in the minor key, like minor pentatonic stuff, then you bring in that major third. Which is kind of like a B.B. King thing almost to do. That's
I love like the bendy stuff.
Yeah.
I love that one specifically.
The
like
double stop.
Just like moving it around everywhere.
So what he's doing right there, he's taking on the B string, you kind of just fret a note that you want to play, and on the G string, 2 frets above it, you kind of just bend that G string because it ends up being the same note, and then I might be a little out of tune, but it's like a very rock and roll thing to do.
And at first I thought it wouldn't fit in that song because it is like a metal song.
Yeah.
But I thought, might as well just go for it.
Screw it, yeah.
Throw some bluesy shit in there.
Yeah.
It turned out pretty good.
It sounds sick, yeah.
Thank you.
And you do that little chromatic I gotta bring up. You do the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like
that note's not in the minor pentatonic, but you run over it.
Yeah.
It sounds dope.
It's a passing tone.
Passing tone.
Thing, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like fun little stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love chromaticism. Is that even a word?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll say it's a word.
Chromatic stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the riffs like center around like the, like,
that gross note.
And then I love moving that pattern around.
Let's try that. So it's
I love that little chunk specifically, the open 1, 3, 4. You can get a lot of nasty notes out of that.
Yeah. Are those like the foundation of like the riffs you like to work with? Like those kind of notes?
Yeah, I'd say I love playing like in this field mostly. I try to do a few other things like jump around, play with different keys, so everything's just not the low A sharp.
Actually, that's a good thing to talk about because I always think like when you play in drop tuning, it's kind of like the reason why you're doing it is to get like that that low chug.
Yeah.
And you can just put a finger and it's like a chord. You can put it anywhere.
Yeah,
so how would you not do that?
Well, we have a song that's called Counterfeit that is also on our EP.
Song.
Oh, thank you. And it's up here, so it's like this. So it kind of changes it a little bit. Then whenever the whole band kicks in, then we move up to like the get to the chuggy stuff.
Yeah. So the A sharp's not like really the root there. It's like
I think
still
that's F. Yeah,
it's F. So it's still like used to get that low.
Yeah, it'd be. I like this riff would be really hard to play in like a standard tuning because you're going.
Yeah.
From here, you're going right up to that power chord on the 4th fret.
Very strange. Your hands look very strange doing it.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable to play.
Yeah.
But it sounds so good, so I just go with it.
It's dope.
But yeah, that.
The rhythm of that riff is so good too. Is there any like reasoning behind it? Any thought process, or is it just kind of something you came up with?
When I thought about it, I knew with like drums playing exactly with that, it would hit harder.
Yeah.
So I think of riffs almost like percussively, like what's gonna like what rhythms will like hit really hard, and usually like downbeats are what hit the hardest. So like it starts out with the like 1, 2, it just kind of goes right into it. And I knew that would hit pretty hard, so I rode with that.
I think it's like I heard it. I think Jay Mascis said it, but he says I think of the drum parts first, and then the rest of the song, because it's like that's what drives the rhythm and the groove of the song. Is the drums.
Definitely.
So if you got that down, it's like gonna be a good riff.
Yeah.
So we're talking about metal. I know you're a metal guy.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you like to play that's kind of pretty? Do you like to pretty it up ever?
Yeah, I like to play around with strumming like full power chords and drop with this is a song by System of a Down that I play a lot. It's a So it's kind of
Okay.
like moving that shape around and it's
Yeah.
like strumming the full power chords.
It's like an
know.
ominous
Mm-hmm.
kind of sound.
So I don't really play happy stuff. If it's
Yeah.
like cleaner, it's usually dark and
Yeah, but I would say that's
sad
pretty.
sounding. Yeah.
It's like, mellow, pretty,
Mhm,
something like that.
What's that word? Melancholy.
Melancholy.
the
That's
right
a pretty,
word?
yeah,
Yeah.
and the infinite sadness. Smashing Pumpkins rule. But like what he's doing right there, it's
Fucking
like if you don't
suck.
mind me just breaking it down real quick.
Yeah, go for
People
it.
at home. But he's like just barring like you would in drop, but then he's arpeggiating it, which means you play each note separately. And you're like adding on, colorful notes like the
Mhm.
9. I played. Or the 3rd. I think he even added the major.
I think that was just the 5th.
Oh, that's the 5th.
Yeah.
So you can just like people at home can just play around with that, adding using your pinkies and like because you got all the fingers free basically.
Yeah,
And mess
that's
around.
another advantage of drop tuning that I like.
Yeah.
You can bullshit a lot more. It seems a lot easier.
If
like
you're ever
to-
in trouble, it's go and you're good.
Yeah. Just start chugging and you're fine. But yeah, it's very mobile. You can play a lot of things faster than you would in standard. So especially like that stuff, like it'd be really hard to
absolutely.
play like those chords if you're like
Yeah, you're already out of
So,
fingers.
yeah, all your fingers are being used. So like it's a lot, opens a lot of doors. It makes things a lot easier to play.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. The last thing I want to talk about is something I think I'm going to ask all the other guitarists that come in because I think it's something people would like to know. It's actually something I get asked a lot as a guitarist is when you get home and you pick up your guitar, it's been a long day at work, like what's kind of like some of the first stuff you play?
I do practice a lot of like our songs, but there's one riff that I play all the time when I first pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to play the full song. I just know how to play the
Just the
beginning
riff?
Yeah.
A lot of
Such a
guitarists
badass
can
riff.
definitely empathize with that.
So it's by a band called Every Time I Die. It's called
Oh.
Floater, and it goes like this.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Oh, it's,
I'll sit around and I'll play that for hours.
yeah. Can we break that down a little bit
Yeah.
too for people?
So
Because
it's
I
just
know
like,
that's your favorite like thing.
oh yeah, it's just like the chugs. It's like then you go up to this gnarly chord. It's like a major 7th interval.
Yeah, like a half step apart. Just gross.
Yeah, and you're just chugging. Then you're hitting that on certain accents,
Mhm.
and it's so simple, but it's just I love playing it. I love how it sounds. It's put together perfectly. Everything feels like it's in the right place.
And you said before you can like kind of move that shape around too, just like
Yeah,
just to like create like gnarliness.
if you're just chugging over that and you do like just like do random things over it, it's so fun. Yeah.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that wraps up the first episode of Licks and Tricks.
I think so too.
Noah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
it's
having
an honor.
me.
Cutting Ties album comes out January 11th?
January 10th.
January 10th. Oh, it's
Tomorrow.
The video's probably not going to come up before that. Yeah, JJ
Damn
says
it.
it's not. Definitely not. Because that is like tomorrow. That is tomorrow in our time.
Yeah.
Noah, this concludes the first episode of Licks and Tricks. Noah Sommers, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, you're a monster guitarist. I look up to you in every way. A beautiful man, a beautiful soul. And I'm so glad he could be here today. His band's EP comes out January 10th. It'll already be out when this video comes up. He's a great guy. It's Cutting Ties. It's metal. It's party rock. It's the whole shebang. Hey,
Thank you
thanks
for
for
having
coming
me.
on.
Of course.
This has been Licks and Tricks with Ethan Mackowick by Steel City Death Club Studios. You have a good day, everyone.
Dude, that was part of the episode. Like you were trying so hard to think when he was coming out.
That pick is